You know, wrestling fans, guys, the Royal Rumble just got over. And what did we experience? What did we learn from the 2020, the 2020 Royal Rumble? Well, number one, they had one weird match card. That's number one. Number two, they put Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo on the pre-show, which, by the way, in my eyes, should have been on the main card, and they could have, put, quite frankly, Bayley versus Lacey Evans on the pre-show, or something like that, because match quality-wise, flip-flop it. Number two, we learned that there was two Royal Rumble matches, according to Michael Cole, in the men's Royal Rumble match. Just because Brock Lesnar eliminated half of the men's Royal Rumble participants, almost. Now, I, quite frankly, thought he was going to eliminate 14, not 13. WWE just tack on another accolade to the Beast record. The Beast incarnates mystique, that is Brock Lesnar. We did not see that. We're going to be going over all that, plus so much more, including the strap matchup, which was absolutely brutal right here on this Royal Rumble 2020 review. But before we do that, you all do me a favor. Go down below, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you hit that bell for all notifications. If you are a subscriber, make sure you go down and make sure that you are still one. It is important, and make sure that that bell is still turned on. Okay? Now, let's dive into the 2020 Royal Rumble. It started off with Sheamus versus Shorty G. If you watched the pre-show, look, this match really didn't have anything to it. Shorty G was simply there as an enhancement talent for Sheamus. I hate saying it, but that's what it was. Quite frankly, if they were going to put some good matches on the pre-show that actually meant something, they could have put, AOP taking on Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe, something like that actually built towards storylines. Sheamus versus Shorty G was nothing more than building up Sheamus a little bit. That's it. Didn't really mean too much. Sheamus picks up the victory towards the end of hour one of the pre-show. Why on earth WWE decided they needed 2 hours of a pre-show for the Royal Rumble, I do not know. Why in the world anybody would sit through 2 hours of a pre-show for the Royal Rumble, or for that matter, any pay-per-view, I do not know. I didn't. I just caught the very end of that. So, it was just an enhancement matchup. Bottom line, WWE could have done so much more with the matches for the pre-show. And WWE even said themselves, commentary, that Shorty G and Sheamus was the first matchup of the night for the Royal Rumble. On the second hour of the pre-show, Humberto Carrillo versus Andrade. Pretty good back and forth matchup. Andrade did pick up the victory here on a very anticlimactic pinfall It was back and forth, very good. I'm sure we're going to see more out of these two. Honestly, I bet by the end of the rivalry, Humberto Carrillo will be the next United States champion. However, in this match, Andrade, the winner. Now, as far as the Royal Rumble event itself, Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin. Excellent contest to kick off the show once the show actually started. And it was back and forth, went all over the arena. I am glad that WWE did not keep it within, right around the squared circle. I really don't like it when they book a Falls Count Anywhere matchup and it's just right around the squared circle. It went all over the arena, over by the third base, first base sign. It went over by the dugout, all different types of stuff. Everybody got involved, just like what we expected. The Usos got involved. We saw Robert Roode get involved. We saw Dolph Ziggler get involved. In the end, Roman Reigns did pick up the victory. Now, I was a little surprised about this. I thought, as I said in my preview and predictions, that Roman Reigns would lose here, Baron Corbin would pick up the victory, and we would move on with Roman Reigns either coming within an eyelash of winning the Royal Rumble, which, by the way, is what happened tonight, which gives me the notion that he might win the Elimination Chamber matchup and move on to main event WrestleMania 36 and face either Daniel Bryan or The Fiend for the Universal Championship, because clearly we are going to see Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 36 because of what Drew McIntyre did at the Royal Rumble matchup tonight, eliminating Brock Lesnar. Thank you, Drew McIntyre. I couldn't see Brock Lesnar anymore eliminating people. It was just getting on my nerves. And I'm sure it was getting on everybody else's nerves too. 13 eliminations was enough. Now, the Women's Royal Rumble. We saw pretty good matchup. Saw more surprises than we did in the Men's Royal Rumble. We saw Santina Marella. Honestly, it was the best part of the Women's Royal Rumble matchup for me, because quite frankly, I could care less about Charlotte winning the Women's Royal Rumble, because I could care less about her becoming an 11-time women's champion in the WWE, because I really do not like her breaking her dad's, Ric Flair's 16-time record. Now, I know there are some of you out there that are okay with it, that like it. My friend, my special guest every once in a while, Jason Funny, who you'll see probably next month. I hope next month at the next pay-per-view. I asked him to come on for the next pay-per-view. Hopefully he'll be here for it. But I don't want to see it. It's going to happen. She'll be the next women's champion at WrestleMania. She'll beat Becky Lynch, because Becky Lynch beat Asuka tonight. And a very good matchup, a very impressive matchup. But let's just face it, wrestling fans, it's cringeworthy to me. Bayley faced Lacey Evans. It was a pretty good matchup. You can't really say a whole lot about it. It's not Lacey Evans' time yet. She's just not ready to be the women's champion over on SmackDown. Will Bayley lose it pretty soon? Absolutely. I don't see her holding on to it for a long length of time. At most, WrestleMania. I think that if the longest that Bayley will hold on to it is WrestleMania. As a matter of fact, I think WrestleMania will be the spot that we will see a lot of title changes. If the way that things are going now, it would be a cool spot to see a lot of title changes, honestly. One thing I didn't really like about tonight is that we didn't see any title changes at all. It was like it was like one of those nothing pay-per-views that we didn't see squat happen. Champion retain, champion retain, champion retain, champion retain. That's what we saw tonight. I really don't like it when we have pay-per-views that happen like that. Royal Rumble isn't one of those small pay-per-views. It shouldn't be treated like that. I understand that the Royal Rumble event is built for the Royal Rumble matches, but still, it'd be nice if we saw something happen with the championships along with it. Now, let's move on to The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan in what was supposed to be a strap matchup, a very historical strap matchup. Now, I have mixed emotions about this match. Now, number one, the reason why I'm cringing a little bit about it is because WWE changed the historical factor to it, the historical rules to it. The strap matchup used to be where you were strapped to each other, just like they were tonight, and you had to drag your opponent from pillar to post to each corner and hit the turnbuckle, each turnbuckle. And that was how you ended the matchup. It was not pinfall or submission. You all remember. So what does WWE do? Oh, they take that and they throw it out the window. And instead, they make it pinfall or submission. Okay. So you change that. Now, in doing that, you produce an awesome matchup, an awesome match. Matter of fact, you produce an awesome, a good enough match that the fans in Houston appeared to want Daniel Bryan to take away the Universal Championship from The Fiend. Me, personally, I wanted to see Daniel Bryan as the new Universal Champion. I want to see him as the new Universal Champion. Now, do I think that's going to happen? I don't know. As a matter of fact, if they have an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view between now and WrestleMania, WWE, do not stick the Fiend inside an Elimination Chamber. If you do, it does not make sense. Because the Fiend will eat every single one of them alive. What kind of Elimination Chamber match would that be? It would suck. That's just me. Y'all let me know what you're thinking about that in the comments below. Now, wrestling fans, the men's Royal Rumble matchup. We're going to go over that really quickly. And then I'm getting out of here. Because the Royal Rumble, I just give it about 3.5 stars as far as a pay-per-view overall. Becky Lynch beat Asuka. Loved it. Really good matchup. But we all know what's going to happen at WrestleMania. And the Men's Royal Rumble matchup. Absolutely dreadful the first half of it. Absolutely dreadful. And the second half, I'm just going to say this. I am so glad they did not have Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble match. So glad. Because if that would have happened, and it's about time. Drew McIntyre got what was coming to him. A shot at a major championship at WrestleMania. He deserves it. I'm getting out of here, wrestling fans. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, leave me a big thumbs up down below and leave me a comment down below. And also, make sure you hit the subscribe button and you do all that stuff I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast. And of course, tune in tomorrow for the Monday Night Raw review. And until I see you then, this is Webby, and I'll catch you on the other side. Talk to you later.